Hello, thank you for tuning in today. This is Don Montgomery with WeBuyYourHouse.com. Today we're going to look at three big things that affect the sale of your property. These are huge. These are massive. These are what moves the real estate market, not just in Florida, not just in the United States, but everywhere. These things are massive, so pay attention. They will be somewhat elementary, but we're going to dig into these a little bit under the surface. We're going to go deep into these, so this is going to be a little bit longer video than most, but we're going to take a look at a lot of different things that each one of these things pertain to and how you can use it, manipulate it, and help move your property faster. So think about that as we go through. But here's the thing. The buyer's perception of your property, that's everything. It really is. It's the key factor of what is going on with your property and the speed that it's going to sell. It's actually the determining reason of what is going to cause the sale of your property or not cause the sale of your property. So consider that as you're looking into selling your house and their perception of it. Think about it from another person's viewpoint. When they're walking into your house, when they're pulling up in front of your house, that's the biggest part right there. People don't understand the impact when people are pulling up in front of their potential home. Think about that. That's massive. So please understand that when you're selling your home, that has got to be like them pulling up in front of Walt Disney World Princess Castle. All right? I mean, that's what it's got to be like. It's just got to be like, wow. That's what has got to set it off. Now, you say, hey, listen, I don't got that kind of money to really set off that kind of perception. Well, as we go along in some other videos, we're going to talk a little bit about as far as how to do that. This is not a handyman channel by any means. There's plenty of those out there. But we're going to be just discussing as far as the importance of it and just some tidbits on what you can do to make some changes. So let's head into this. All right. Let's see here. So before we do get into those three steps, one thing I want to talk about is I get a lot of calls and a lot of emails and people responding to my videos. You know, my house has been on the market for 90 days. What's going on? What's wrong with my house? It's like, you know, the house has got some type of disease or something. I've got it looking good. I've got all these different things, but it's not moving. But here's the focus. Again, it comes back to the buyer's perception. When your house is on the market for over 90 days, actually sometimes in my opinion, if it's on the market for over 60 days, but in reality, if it's on the market for over 90 days, the buyer's perception of that, if they're made aware of it by the realtor that's showing them the house or they find out the details another other way, their automatic perception is something's wrong with the house. Something's got to be wrong with it. Why would it be sitting out there for 90 days if it was a great deal, if it was a really clean house, if it was all these different things, what could be wrong with it for 90 days? And that's obviously the automatic go-to perception that when people are looking at houses. So the other thing that they look at is, well, that neighborhood must be poor. It must be it must be bad. There must be something wrong with, it must not be a weak care neighborhood. It must not be up to the standards of the other homes in the area, or that neighborhood must be holding it back in some way. Because they're looking at the pictures, and maybe the pictures look actually okay, but there's something got to be wrong with the surrounding. Maybe it's the schools. The schools are really poor. Who knows? Okay, but maybe there's a high crime level in there, or something of that sort. The other thing that could be wrong is something could be wrong with the seller. That's always a thing too. I've actually seen a lot of people that have looked at homes and really like the house or whatever, and for whatever reason just got a bad vibe from the seller. Maybe the seller said something inappropriate. Maybe there was something inappropriate within the house that the seller had hanging on the walls. I don't know. There's tons of different things, but something turned that person off. So these are all things that we see on an ongoing basis. Okay, so your buyer's perception of your home is absolutely key. So let's get into now as far as what is the number one reason that can affect the sale of your property. And I know a lot of you guys are probably always thinking those three words that go, they're all the same, right? Those three things are supposedly the same, but in reality it's not. It's really not, because again, take this from a guy that sells lots of houses every single month, if not definitely every single year. It's actually the price. The pricing is everything, because underpriced properties, they're going to go first. Even if they're inferior, need repair, all these different things that surround it, that are compared to the other surrounding properties, they will go first. So pricing is the biggest key. It truly is. And you can't dispute it. It is undisputable. I had a lot of realtors say, no, it's the condition, it's all these different things. It is the price. Because in reality, look at it. I mean, if it gets to a ridiculous point as far as a house and it's very inexpensive, my goodness, it's going to go in seconds. Somebody's going to grab it up, whether it be an investor or a homeowner that's going to, I mean, a person that wants to live in it. It is always the price. So become very, very conscious of this, because for those of you that are actually shopping realtors, or maybe looking to sell your property through a realtor, which is perfect, it's fine. What really consider this. Really think of when that individual comes out, that realtor, they're going to want that listing. And one of the things that I really just irks me about realtors, though, in a lot of points is that they will, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them will say and do anything just to get that listing. Meaning they will list the property at some ridiculous price that this property has no idea or no reason to be listed at, only to set that seller up for another phone call later on down the road, maybe a month, 2 months, saying, hey, listen, we're not getting any activity, we need to adjust our price to the downside. All along knowing that that was the plan. And I can't say that happens to everyone. I mean, as far as all realtors are doing that, but I know it happens. So that is the biggest setback, in my opinion, as far as working with a realtor. So if you are having a listing appointment, make sure that you really understand what the values are selling for around your home, and make sure that your home is very comparable in condition to that, and those other just few things that we just talked about. All right. So, anyways, I beat that horse up quite a bit. So, pricing is everything. You want to sell, lower the price. And the second thing is probably what you thought was going to be the first thing: the location. Right? Of course, we always hear the location, which is 100% true. It is an incredible, incredible amount. But the fact is this: you could take the most lavish property in the most highly priced areas, such as, like, say, Tokyo, which is probably the highest priced real estate in the world. And if you go over price, you will not move. It just won't. So location comes second. And that, of course, people are looking at the condition of the property, the schools, the crime level. Is your property in the community that is gated? Obviously, that has a big portion of it too. That has to do with the location. Does your property have a homeowners association that actually enforces the rules? So many times I've purchased properties in neighborhoods that have a homeowners associations, but they're really lax and they don't really do anything, and you have cars on jacks and oil stains and all these other different things that they're supposed to prevent to maintain the value of that neighborhood and maintain the value of that property. So again, it's all runs back to location. And the other big thing is this: are there jobs available? In my community here in Lake Mary, Florida, they just opened up a big Verizon. It's not a store; it's actually just like a big Verizon building where they're going to have middle management and whatever Verizon does. But it's not like they're not selling the phones or the service there. They're actually, like, that's where the transactions are coming through. But anyways, it's very high price paying jobs. So these people are going to be going out and looking for $300,000, $400,000 homes. So again, are those type of jobs available in the location that you're having? So that's obviously going to be a big factor when they talk about the location. And lastly, it comes down to the actual house, the condition of your property. Because think about this: major to minor updating, that is huge. I took one particular property that I fixed up and put in granite countertops and changed the handles on the kitchen kitchen cupboards and pantry, and made an enormous amount of difference. But in reality, we all know that painting can make the biggest difference, and it's a minor cost. It really is. And even if you do it yourself, it's a very minor cost. Think about this, and as we talk about paint, as you walk through your home, are all your bedrooms different colors? Now, I mean, that's very popular because I have kids just like you guys probably do, and some of you. And the kids like to have purple and blue and all these kind of crazy colors outside the normal neutral stuff. You may want to go and actually paint those back to the normal color, because that will, again, just think of it as a canvas that people can look at and say, and not be distracted by those colors, because again, that can deteriorate their perception of it, and of course deteriorate the price in their mind and the value in their mind. So again, what is the condition of your house? And we talked a little bit more about some of those other things that as you can update and all the different things that you can do. But what is the condition of your overall property? What's the condition of your carpet? Is there trails? Can you see where, like a trail, like a cattle path? Can you see that through your carpet, or is it brand new, or is it good condition? That's something to think about too. So overall, these are the 3 things that really make the difference in your home and in the sale and the speed of it. So, and I'm anticipating that the whole factor is that you don't want to go over 90 days. I mean, that's obviously would be my thing. And you know, consider this. You know, if you do want to sell quickly, or at least get an idea of what I would give you, or any other investor, or whatever it may be, come on over to WeBuyYourHouse.com. And here's an area. Just enter your zip code below. So whatever your zip code is, this is just an example, 32801. And you hit submit, and then basically you'll come right over here and put your information in and get my offer. And I or one of my representatives will be in touch with you immediately to get some information from you about the house, and obviously to maybe you come out and view it, or just give you that offer over the phone, because we can usually do that. The other thing that you can do is just pick up the phone and call 407-852-8599. Either one of those things will work, and we'd be happy to accommodate you and help you out in any way we can. Hopefully this information was beneficial to you. Please comment, share, and we look forward to providing more videos. Thanks.